Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. It's 4:33 p.m. on September 4th, 2024 in Westside Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is 22 degrees outside and a sunny afternoon in this city. In this video, I walked for 3 kilometers starting in West Point Grey by the bus stop at West 10th and Saskmat, then stroll west on West 10th, cross the street at Blanca, then continue east on West 10th, north on Discovery, and east on West 8th and West Broadway, ending my trek in Kitsilano by the bus stop at West Broadway and Alma. To support the channel, click the heart icon to send me super thanks. For updates, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at jforestwood. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, share it, and subscribe. Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. We're over in West Point Grey on West 10th Avenue. Just passing Westland Insurance, and over here is the local Gold Train Express. This is one of the happening places in here. It doesn't look like much, but it's pretty good. And Koi Sushi is right next to it. And then Top 10 Produce over here. It's your local produce store in the area. Top 10 Produce has got like the comic books right on the side, right up there and everything. It's a pretty cool place, and they're usually playing some funky music inside. And here's the cat that was on the national news. Don't look too impressed right now, he's in a half sleep. Let's keep going.
Sorry, I didn't see
I'll keep on walking here. Looks like a senior assistance place is now opened up over here. This is actually what's needed. That's the leading demographic here besides students. People holding on to their single family dwelling homes as we pass the public library here. This will be the West Point Grey branch. Of course, if you remember West Point Grey, this is the edge of Vancouver over here. We are on the edge. This is the far western point, and just off of the strip, beyond these towering buildings over here, a lot of students live, as well as a lot of just professionals. It's just single family dwelling homes, and further down that way, mansions, ginormous mansions, especially on Blanca Street. Well, let's walk the main drag right now. Looks like we can cross. We're crossing Tolney, and we'll continue going west on West 10th. And there goes the 99. I just got off that so I could walk through the neighborhood. For you folks. Keep walking, just passing University Towers over here. You can see the definite university theme here. Catering to that community, we are very close to the University of British Columbia. And a lot of people refer to this little stretch over here, the residential stretch, being part of the University Endowment Lands and UBC. So if you hear that, just remember you're still in Vancouver right now. But if you cross the street up ahead there, across Blanca, then you're in the university endowment lands. That means you're in Metro Vancouver and not Vancouver anymore. Southgate. A lot of people like living over here because it's quiet. It's close to Pacific Spirit Regional Park. It's the ginormous park. Oh yeah, really, as well as the university. But people don't necessarily work at the university if they live over here. They just happen to live over here. Don't have to work at the university to be here. That is not a requirement. Here is the intersection and the border. This will be Blanca Street. So West 10th and Blanca. There we go. And we'll walk this way. Just passing the number 9 bus right now. It's all the way from Boundary Road. During the weekdays, it'll head all the way over to UBC. While schools and the university is in its fall or its winter sessions. And the summer and spring sessions, it doesn't go as far. Still runs weekdays. Looks like there's plenty of vacancies over here. This one is Sasamat Towers right here. Some student in the Vancouver Sun was 36 years old too, so an older student. You can always go back to university whenever you want. Complaining that they couldn't afford the $2,000 rent on their part-time job that they worked for the summer. I'm just like, you're 36 years old and only working a part-time job. You should be doing a little bit more. I was working 40 hours a week while still going to university in my 20s. Like, what the heck's going on? How do you think you're going to pay for things? And you're getting paid a whole lot. That's right there. You got to afford the rent if you want to be in Vancouver, man. And he was complaining about how he couldn't afford the rent. All the rents are $2,000 a night. Well, that's true, but there is spaces available. Of course, not over at Bellevue Towers here. This would be a Hollyburn building. They're highly sought after. Hollyburn. Of course, they'll always raise the price on you, but they manage their buildings fairly well. And you can see 299 buses. Right now, it is. They'll be running quite a few buses up until around 7 p.m. We'll get a little later around 6. But 7 p.m. and then they get real late after that. They still come every 15 minutes or so. So not bad at all. Cannot complain. Looks like Elaine Wu's working in the area right now. Selling homes. Work. Just passing by the local TD Bank. And across the way, that's the powerhouse right on over there. Where the telesign is. It's the local power plant for the area here. We are on top of a mountain. University of British Columbia is on top of a mountain with us. We're very high up right now. In fact, in the wintertime, it can be snowing up here and raining in downtown Vancouver. And it can be anywhere from -2 to -10 degrees colder. Just up here, just on the top plateau here in West Point Grey and over at UBC, so definitely something to think about. And over here, this big open space, that's going to be turned into housing. Right now it's a giant dog park and community garden. That's where the old Safeway used to be. But Safeway pulled out of this area because there just wasn't enough people anymore to sustain it. Even top 10 produce over here struggles sometimes. Not enough people in the area. Although there used to be a very family-friendly area with all the single-family dwelling homes, but as the single-family dwelling home people and their families got older, the kids grew up and moved away and realized they couldn't afford to live here. So, of course, some of the single-family dwelling home people here oppose all new developments in the area, and that just causes problems because you can't bring in new people with new housing. Very difficult problem here. It's kind of like a self-defeating purpose because the same people that fight for no new developments here to protect the price of their single-family dwelling home are the ones who are also constantly complaining about how businesses keep choosing to set up and then leave from this area. It's because it's no good, apparently. So, if you're opposing development at the same time for a new housing to bring in more people to sustain this area, okay, because it's no longer you and your son and your daughter here, but it's just you, maybe your husband if they're still alive, well then maybe, you should reconsider what's going on. Think about it. Lots of interesting tales over here. We'll cross the street. It's crossing Sassamat Street. A little bit of an irony here. Let's keep walking. Passing one of our local jewelers in the area, Laura K. Jewett. And a 10th and Proper right on over here. Nice little store in the area. Not my jam, but it is the jam of some people. Women's clothes, so it's a place to come. Here's Bombay Masala here. They got slow service, but delicious food. So, something definitely to remember. And there's other things across the street as well. The local Bella Roma, which is the local Italian restaurant. There's the Korean grocery store, convenience store over there. So a few other things in there too. So a place. And then Home Hardware right here. This is where a lot of people get their toilet paper and paper towels. I do a lot of selling there. And you can see it's a quite large store. And they just tore down the building that was right here. 4445. They're going to build something new. So even when they try to stop development, it still happens in the area. And this is Chicastra. This is one of the local places. This is where you can get a good deal on food. They do pasta and Indian food. So you can check that out. Kind of catering to both types of communities over here. And you get a little bit of a mix of some a Pan-Asian community over here, including South Asian, but Pan-Asian, as well as a mix of Scottish and Irish and British expats, as well as Caucasian Canadians. They all happen to live in the area. Cowboys, Vapes, and Smokes. This is where they got the Bitcoin machine in the area. I've never been to a ginger and chili restaurant yet. It's just way too expensive in my terms for what they're serving. The old Tim Hortons pulled out of here too with Safeway a long time ago. Another place that people who live in this area and own a single family dwelling home in this area and are older and their kids have grown up and moved away complain about, why did the Tim Hortons leave? Why did the Starbucks leave? Why did the Safeway leave? We had a good neighborhood here. And then all I do is I turn around and I say, why do they think they left? It's only you two living in your home now. Your kids aren't here anymore. They're living in Abbotsford where they can afford a home. And let's keep walking here on the west end of that. You can see how quiet it is here. It's not like, West 4th Ave or West Broadway and Kitsilano. It's real quiet over here. Real quiet. And even this summer, the local festival didn't happen over here. They're not running it anymore. We used to run it out of the local park. Now they're not doing it. And couldn't find a solution to keep it going somewhere else. I was like, why don't you just close down the street and have it there like everyone else does? Nope. Not gonna happen. So, definitely a nice place to live if you can afford it. But also an area in disarray, caused by the very people who choose to live here. Not all of them, but some of them. And over here, this is your local post office. This is Molly's. It's also a stationery store. Likely spam. Fashion local pharmacy. This is the pharmacy you want to come to. The West 10th Medical Pharmacy. They do a better job. And the pharmacy up the street. Yeah. Well, it's spam on my phone. What can you say? What can you do? Spamster's got a spam, and that's just life. Let's head on this way now. This is Discovery Street. Now there's alleyway, laneway, and a lot of different basement suites over here. Some second floor suites as well for students who live in the area. As well as some houses that are just rented out to whole units of students. So it's quite interesting. And down here is one of the local parks. Just give me a sec. And this would be called Trimble Park or West Point Grey Park. Trimble being its original name. Well, both names are here in the area on Google Maps. So I'm just telling you what I see. This is where they usually hold the festival yearly, which will be the West Point Grey Fiesta. Happens right on over here. Did not happen this year. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And you can see over here, and a lot of people just take their dogs over here, and the dogs get rid of their zoomies. And you can see the mountains in the background. Is that not beautiful? And the trees are not in full bloom. You can see even more. That's pretty cool. Look how big this park is. There's even a playground at the end for the kids with a splash pad. Beautiful baseball diamond here. But who knows what the story is? Maybe we'll find out. But who knows? I'm not going to be digging up that story though. I'm just going to keep walking. I'm going to head on down this way. And this is where West 8th Ave converts into West 9th and then quickly over into West Broadway. And then West 8th continues that way. Well, that road right there. And West Broadway begins over here. See the giant trees over here. Keeping this area nice and shady. Few giant homes over here. A few big, really big homes over here. And then more just regular sized homes that you would see in other Canadian cities. But because they're over here in Vancouver, where land is not in abundance like in Ontario, well, in that case, because we're surrounded by the mountains, then the land values go up. We'll keep walking here. And we're crossing West 8th. And this is where West Broadway starts. So we're now on West Broadway. We've left West 8th, and we are now on West Broadway. And we're getting very, very close to the border between West Point Grey and Kitsilano. Still in West Point Grey right now. Look at these giant homes here. Giant homes. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And they do take care of their homes over here, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see some kind of dilapidated place over here. A few more of them. And we'll see fancy cars out front too from time to time. Sometimes you'll see a really humble home. Okay? Big home, well taken care of, and then you'll see like the cheapest cars ever out front. Just because like you might as well just drive a good car instead of like, a fancy car that's gonna draw you more attention. We'll keep walking here. And see how these houses are built upon hills. With the houses on this side being above. And then over here you can see they actually go down below the property line. They go lower than the sidewalk. So definitely something to note. I bet there's some kid who's tied a string here and swings from this. Little string there, not to show, no show it if it's showing up on the camera, but yeah. Let's keep going. Of course, the people who live over in this part of West Point Grey live close to the Jericho Plaza. Okay. And they would head on over to the local No Frills. That's where most people head these days when they're in the area. And we're almost over at the bus stop. And see over here is a work crew working hard. Gotta respect that. Nice big building. I'm not gonna stick my nose in there. Looks like they're building something interesting though. And you look over the fence, can't get the camera there. It wouldn't be very good for you folks. You wouldn't see anything, you just see leaves. There's a new tower that's being developed over here too. On the West Point Grey side. Closer to the main line for the 99 University B line. But below the hill, where the B line sometimes will stop if the hills get extra icy. And we'll stop on over here and do a quick loop and head on back. And that sometimes can isolate the people over at the university or the people in the university endowments lands or the people all the way at the top where we started and got off the bus. If you live up there, including, and I can speak from personal experience, being over at UBC, it can be a bit of an issue. Bus strikes are another thing to consider, transit strikes. And you can see this is the unloading zone only. This isn't your formal bus stop right here. Bus stop's actually up and around the corner. This is where they just stop for a minute. If you're on the bus, you can get off of it, but other than that, no. And here's the new building they're building. Look at that! Wow, pretty cool, eh? So this would be the intersection of Alma and West Broadway. I'll just cross the street. I'm just gonna head on over to the number 14 bus stop over here. Or the number 99, not quite sure which one I want to take yet. Looks like it's our turn, so let's cross. I'll take one of them. Got a plan for a few more videos in the area.
Mommy?
Anyways, folks, I'm going to take a chill pill right on over here and wait for the bus. So thanks for coming along today, and just remember to share, like, and subscribe. Have a good day.